You're lying in bed. The lights are off. The room is quiet. And then it happens. Your brain replays something you said years ago. A joke that didn't land. A message you shouldn't have sent. A moment where everyone looked at you and you felt small. Your heart beats a little faster. Your stomach tightens. And you whisper, "Why did I say that?" But here's the strange part. The people involved probably forgot. No one is thinking about it right now. So why is your brain bringing it back? It feels like self-torture, but it isn't. It's self-protection. Embarrassment is not just an emotion. It's a social alarm system. Thousands of years ago, being rejected by your group was dangerous. Humans survived in tribes, and if you were excluded, you were vulnerable. Without protection, without safety in numbers. Your brain evolved to treat social mistakes as survival threats, so that awkward joke in a meeting doesn't feel small to your ancient wiring. It feels like risking exile. So when the world goes quiet at night, your brain runs simulations. It replays the memory, zooms in on your expression, analyzes the other person's reaction, not to punish you, but to update your social behavior. From your brain's perspective, it is simply trying to protect your place in the tribe. Neuroscientists have found that the same brain regions involved in physical pain activate during social rejection, which means embarrassment doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it feels painful. To your brain, a broken moment of belonging can resemble a physical wound, and that is why the memory carries heat, even years later. At night, this becomes stronger, because during the day, your attention is busy. You are distracted by noise, tasks, conversations, movement. But when everything becomes quiet, something called the default mode network becomes active. This is the system that turns inward, reflects, replays the past, and simulates the future. When you are lying in bed doing nothing, your brain is not inactive. It is reviewing your social life. It quietly asks, did we say something wrong? Did we damage our status? Are we still accepted? You call it overthinking. Your brain calls it maintenance. But here's where it becomes uncomfortable. Your brain has what psychologists call a negativity bias, which means negative experiences are processed more deeply than positive ones. You can receive 10 compliments during the day and one awkward look, and somehow the awkward look is the one that stays with you. That is not weakness. It is design. Evolution did not reward you for remembering praise. It rewarded you for remembering potential threats. Embarrassment feels like a threat to belonging, and belonging has always meant survival. So your brain highlights those moments, marks them as important, and stores them with emotional intensity. Then, when the lights go out and there is nothing competing for your attention, it opens that file again. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it wants to refine you. And there is another layer to this. When you replay an embarrassing moment, you're not simply watching a recording of the past. Memory is not a video file stored in your head. It is reconstruction. Each time you revisit an event, your brain rebuilds it from pieces, and often it exaggerates the parts that felt threatening. The silence feels longer, the faces look more judgmental, your mistake appears larger than it truly was. You become both the actor and the critic at the same time, reliving the scene while quietly editing it into something slightly worse.
So why does this intensify at night? Why does it seem to attack you at 2 in the morning instead of 2 in the afternoon? During the day, your identity is reinforced constantly. You speak, you move, you receive reactions, you perform roles, and that performance keeps your sense of self stable. But at night, there is no audience, no activity, no distraction, just you and your internal narrative. When the external world goes silent, your internal world becomes louder. Your brain shifts into reflection mode, scanning your past behavior for anything that might threaten your social standing. It quietly asks, are we safe? Are we respected? Are we still part of the group? These questions feel personal, but they are ancient. Human beings are hypersensitive to social evaluation because for most of history, reputation determined survival. If you were seen as unreliable, aggressive, or strange, you risked exclusion. Your nervous system still carries that memory, even if your modern life no longer depends on tribal approval in the same way. So when you remember that awkward moment, your body reacts as if something important is at stake, even if logically you know it is not.
Your brain believes that by replaying the mistake, it can prevent a future one. It treats the memory like a rehearsal, adjusting your behavior, sharpening your awareness, trying to protect your place among others. And in a subtle way, it works. You do become more careful, more socially precise, more aware of tone and timing. But the cost of that precision is discomfort. Here is the counterintuitive truth. The fact that you replay embarrassing moments is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that you care. People who feel nothing about social mistakes rarely lie awake analyzing them. Sensitivity to embarrassment often reflects empathy, self-awareness, and a deep desire to belong. The problem is not that the memory appears. The problem is that you interpret it as a verdict instead of a rehearsal. Your brain is not declaring you unworthy. It is running simulations to keep you connected. And while you are lying there thinking about something awkward you said, someone else is probably lying awake thinking about something awkward they said too. Very few people are replaying your scene. They are busy replaying their own. So tonight, when the room is dark and the memory returns, notice what is really happening. An ancient system is trying to protect your place in the tribe. You survived that moment. You are still here, still connected. And the fact that your brain replays embarrassing moments at night simply means belonging still matters to you.